to the sample dashboard. So in our, let me close all, should I close all of these things? Okay, let me leave it open. So in our, if you open your file, now we are serious. I know someone is scared seeing this. Don't worry, don't be scared. Everything we have seen is not so different from what is here. So I know it's looking rough, but don't worry. So now we have, please open your New York City data. So in this New York City data, I got this data from Maven Analytics. You can check out their platform. They really have a lot of data set. This is not a paid advert. This is where I got this data from, and I'm telling you, so it's not like I'm paid to mention their name or anything. But if you really are affiliated with me, especially on my social media, I do talk about them a lot of times because I get data from them. I take part in their challenges, and I also recommend you to do the same. So I got this from their site. It's the New York accident data. So you can also work on this. Maybe this will be our Power BI project next week. We'll use it for our Power BI project next week. So we'll do a bit on Excel. One of the things about Excel is that even till date, I still use it. I mean, no one can deny that they don't use Excel. Excel is like your go-to guy, especially when you want to quickly take a look at your data. I cannot want to look at the data now and then first take it to SQL. Before I even do all of those things, I've already seen what I want to see. So every time when I receive a data set, except the data is coming from cloud, is the only thing. But if it's like a flat file, I bring it over to Excel to take a look at it like this. So this is just to let you know that Excel is still very important in the world of analytics. So we have really a lot of columns here that I can't even see all of them. You can agree with me that one of the ways to enlarge this, you can either drag this like this, or you can even double click on it, it will expand. But will I be doing it for everything? No, that's the wrong way. So one fast way to do it is you can just click on this arrow here. This is just a shortcut. Maybe some of you know it. So once I click on this arrow, and any of them, once I just double click, it will automatically expand it for me. So it's looking better now. I can see everything the way they should be. Okay. So now, so these are our columns. We have crash date. Again, you need to have an understanding of the data set. You cannot just bump on the data and begin to work. So you need to understand what the data represents so that you can know how best to come up with insights and how best to work with it. Okay. So now the idea of this data is that these are accidents that happened in New York in 2020. So they were recorded. So you see something like crash date, you see something like crash time, the time it happened. You see I don't know the pronunciation of this, so I don't want anyone to make jest of me, so just pronounce it yourself. And then we have zip code, latitude, longitude, location, the street name, and all of this information, the number of persons injured, the number of persons killed, the number, and so on, and so on, and so on. And you see something like contributing factor, what was is it that, what caused it? And all of these variables are there for you to analyze, okay? Do you need everything? No, you don't. But you need to find out what you need. Like I said, in most business settings, they would give you insight. They would give you okay, I think for Maven, let me quickly go to Maven.
And I can also add here. So okay, usually when you're running an analysis like that, sometimes you have the business goal. Sometimes it is you who is trying to provide several business insights for the company. So maybe you want to find out what is causing the accident the most. Which driver is having more accidents? Is it female versus male? You can pretty much drag out many things from a data set, right? But two things, it's either that you have a set of goal that you are driving towards. So a manager calls you that, hey, we run a taxi company. We want to see if our male are having more accident than female. So already you know what they're asking for. But in another way will be you just helping the company with different insights, right? You want to know maybe what kind of a brand of our vehicle is having accident the most. You could play around with it and bring so many insights based on the business goal that you're working on.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, that's it. So in this Maven, now this is where I got the data from. So if I click on this, you will see that we have some recommendation of analysis, right? So this is how it works. Say something like compare the percentage of total accident by month. So this is like saying, okay, which month do we get a lot of accident, right? So it means you have to look at the data, look at the month, and then count the number of accidents you have per month. Very easy. We already did count now. So maybe we will do this now. And maybe another one. It said break down the accident frequency by day of the week and hour of the day. So is it like we get a lot of accident? I mean, you see police take measures on some days. It's not like they just woke up and decided to block some roads It's because they've read into the data, they notice on so days, they tend to be more violent than the other. I know all this kind of stuff, and then they make those decisions. That's exactly how data works. Okay, so let's look at the first one. So we've looked at all of these things, right? We can see all of the columns, you can see the crash date, the bureau, and all of these things. And then the analysis says, look at what the analysis says. It said, compare the percent of total accident by month. So we want to look at the number of accidents we have in each month. Now, look at this data set, guys. Do we have anything like month? No. We don't have anything like month. If you take a look at it, we don't have month. We only have dates. And that's where like transformation comes in. So, and that's in the typical data setting, you would have extraction, which is what we already did, bringing out our data from wherever source. And the next thing is transformation. This is one of the things that a lot of people don't like, you know, transformation. So we don't have months, but we are asked to find out which month do we have a lot of accidents. So that means there is something hidden in this data that we must find out, right? So that's exactly what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this sheet because I don't really like to work on the original sheet. It is also a recommendation for you. So in case you have to make any correction, you can easily refer to it. So let me just make a copy of that. That's how you make a copy. Just right click on the sheet. You will see move or copy, and then click on move to the end, and then create a copy, and then it's going to duplicate. So I'm going to work on this one. I can call it like data prep. That's what I like to call it. It means this is where I'm preparing my data. So now you would agree with me that for us to know month, we can actually only know month from day, right? From date. So now I have date, so I can actually get month. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click this place, and then I'm going to right click and click on insert to insert a new column here. I can give this column a color just to let us know that I was the one who actually added this, you know, just to differentiate it from every other one. It depends on you. This is how I work, just to give me a clear understanding of what I'm doing. Even if I have to look at this some months or years later, I would understand what I'm actually doing. So I'm calling this one month. Okay. So now in Excel, there's a month function, there's a date function. I did not mention it today, but like I said, you really need to know some of these things as you work, right? So I know that there is month function in Excel. I hope I'm right. Okay. So the month function, this is where the problem is. Now, I don't think it's going to work because month is supposed to take a date as an argument. Now it's saying a serial number. So let's see if it's going to work. It didn't work. So there's a problem. So if anyone knows how to extract month from date, please put it on the group. But I told you, we are going to check Google together. So I'm going to Google now, say get month from date, Excel. Google is your friend. Google is our friend, right? So now we are checking, everyone is checking together. So I want to get month from date. So that's how everyone goes on. I did not prepare this because I want you to understand this. Now, see this, it said this is how you get month from date. It said this is the function, you use text, the name, and MMMM. I wonder why it has to be this, but as you can see, this is one solution we found. So let's try it out. So
and that's why we run to Power BI.
What do you say?
I said, and that's why we run to Power BI for data.
Yeah,
query.
in Power Query, you just have it. Don't worry, we'll do Power Query next week. We'll do the same thing and then you see the difference. So now it says text. That's what I saw online. So the date, which is this one, and then the format. So he said we should write how many M's, 3 M's or 4 M's. So it depends on how you want it. So if I write 3 M, if I write 3, it will give you like the first 3 of that month, I think. Yeah, August. Yeah. Then if you write 4, it's going to, so it depends on how you want it. So let's leave it as 4. So maybe we can have like full name, August. Can you see? So now if I do it down, the same thing, because now I think this record is about 370 something thousand. No, is it up to? How many records do we have? We have about 100 or something. I can't really remember how much we have here, but now just exactly the same thing that we did with those small data earlier, you can see that it's applicable. And Excel has done this to the end. You can confirm anyway. So if you scroll down to like somewhere in the middle, anywhere in the middle, you can try to like confirm the date. This is 1903, which is exactly March, right? And so on. So you can confirm, but I'm sure it's going to be correct anyway. So, but that's that. So now we've gotten month, right? We've gotten month. So now to answer that question, which was asked, that the question says what? Let's go back to that question again. It said, what percentage? It said, compare the percentage of total accidents by month. So it's talking about percentage. So before you talk about percentage, you need to talk about the number itself, the number of accidents. So how many accidents do we have in each month? That's the next thing. Again, just like what we did earlier, you can either use a pivot table or use your count. It depends on you. So which one do you use, guys? Let me see which one you want. Is it formula we should use or a pivot table? Please put it in the chat. Should we use a formula or a pivot table? We can use anyone. A pivot table or a formula. Pivot table. Someone said pivot table. I don't like it. So I'm using a formula. Okay, so that you can trust me next time, let me use a pivot table. So I'm just going to click on anywhere here, and then I'm going to use insert pivot table. And then pivot table, it has automatically selected everything. As you can see, I don't need to touch that. And then new sheet. So I just click on OK. So I have a new sheet here, right? So you can see all of these options, right? All of these columns that we have. But the one we need is what? Is month. The same thing that we did earlier. So I'm bringing my month to rows because I want to see all of my month. So we can see the months that we have are January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So we don't have it to the end. That's one thing to note. So when you are analyzing, you need to also state this. Now, this is something to write down. If I was working on this real time, I would write it somewhere that we don't have all of the months. So when you are giving your analysis, you can also understand that we don't have all of the months. So you cannot just come out and say, January is the highest, is the month where we have a lot of accident. It will be a wrong insight because you don't have all of the months. So how do you know that it's January? Do you get what I'm saying now? So you need to take note of some of these details. So the next thing again is to bring month to values. And because January, February cannot be added together, by now you should know this will give us as what? As count. So you can see for sure that January, I always said it, I didn't even check it before anyways, but you can see for sure that January has a lot of what? A lot of accident compared to other months. But the question actually said percentage, okay? So I'm going to click on it again. Again, I'm going to bring that month again to that count, to that values. It will come as count, but this time I'm going to change that count, go to value field settings on my right, and then I'm going to, instead of summarize, I'll go to show value as. Now, show value as, you can see the option we have here is what? No calculation, but I want a percentage of grand total. So because he said we should bring it as percentage of the total. So not colon total, because colon total is, okay, maybe colon total will work in this case, but there are cases where it might not, when you have segments and all of that, but I don't want to talk about that. So just leave it as percentage of grand total and say, okay. So you can see that it's telling us that this number that you see here is 19% of the total that we have. If you want to confirm if that is correct, you can say this one divided by this one. You can see 0.19. If you change it to percentage, you can see it's the same thing. So just to confirm, in case you don't trust the pivot table. So with this that you have here, with these guys now, you can plot a chart. You can plot a chart, pivot chart. You can leave it like this. When you are doing, I don't really want to talk about that, but the best type of chart for this is a line chart. So I'm going to do something like this. So a line chart. So here it's making use of the count, right? So which is why we have this. You can also change it that you don't want it to use the count, that you want it to use this percentage. Anyone works for you. Do you get it now? So this is how analysis works. This is how you'll be answering all the questions in the business. In a typical business setting, this is how you'll be doing it. You understand? Now you can add even more conditions to it. Now let me show you why I prefer to use and we'll close for today. I know we've taken a lot of time, or maybe we should check something. Okay, let me check the second one. The second one, this first one, we've answered it. Now, he said, do you notice any seasonal patterns? Well, I don't really want to answer that right now, so maybe later we can take a look at that. So this one is saying break down accident frequency by day of the week and hour of the day. Based on this data, when do accidents occur most frequently? Again, just like what we saw earlier, we do not have anything like day. Do we have anything like day? No. Do we have anything like day? No. Do we have anything like hour? No. We only have crash date. Again, we can bring in our day out of this. The same thing. So I can again, insert a thing here, name it day. That's day of the week now, right? So I think that text colon should also work again. So, but this time, instead of saying MMM, I think it should be day. I'm not sure, I'm just guessing anyways, but I guess it should be the case. Okay, yeah, it is. So now, if I change it to 4 days, can you have Saturday? You can confirm this date. You can check on your, okay, let's check calendar. Do I have calendar? Yeah, okay, yeah. Calendar for, I mean, it's going to be right anyway, but I'm just showing you this. So this is 29th of August in 2020. So 29th is Saturday, can you see? So it's a Saturday, so that's that. So and then if you do the same thing, just take it down. You have all of the days. Now you might be wondering, this is Saturday, is everything Saturday? Now you would notice that I was going down the other time to see the range of values we have. That's the wrong thing to do. So that takes me to another thing I want to show you, which is called filter. Okay, I know I'm saying a lot of information, but this is the only opportunity we have, because these are things that you really find handy. I mean, these are things you would use every day, I promise you. So you can add a filter. Let me show you how that works. The first way, let me show you the normal way. You can go to data, and then you can click on filter. Okay, so you can see this guy pop up on every column header. So this can help you access everything that you have. So now, instead of me scrolling down and see the distribution of my values, I can click on this and I can see all the days that we have. Oh, everything is indeed represented. Like month earlier, we could have seen it that, okay, we don't have all of the months, that we only have, these are the months we have. So instead of going here to do it all the time, I want to give you a shortcut. This shortcut is recommended. I mean, you use it all the time, which is Ctrl-Shift-L. If you press it, it's going to do the same thing for you, which add this filter. This is really handy to do things. Okay, so this is day. We've gotten day. I don't want to plot the chart yet. Let us quickly do the last one and then we'll close for today. So it said, based on this again, we should look at the day of the week and hour of the day. Okay, so hour of the day. So we don't have hour of the day, of course, but we have time. So from time, we can get, yeah, I know, yeah, thank you for that, making it a table. Yeah, I don't want to really bring a lot of things because I understand maybe there are some beginners here, so I don't want to give you a lot of info. So maybe next week we'll do Power BI, I can touch on something like that. Thank you. Okay, so why I'm not talking about some things randomly is because if I'm just saying it, you might, I mean, I want to get to a point where you will see the need for it before I talk about it. You get, so if I just talked about filter sense, you might not know that this is the use case for it. So, but that's I think you can easily, all of us can easily understand it better that way. So for R now, we need R here, right? So we can get R from time, of course. So the same thing, I can create a new column here. I can call it time, give it the same color, this one we are using. So I can call it time. Oh, no, not time, it's R, right? It's R we need. So again, there's a function in Excel. I don't know if R function works, but I don't think so, because again, it's asking for serial number. So will TTT work? Let's see HHH. I'm just guessing. So let's see if HHH will work. So this is the value. And then the format text is HHH. Let's try it though. I don't think it will work. Okay, HH worked because it is the hour can only be 2. But if you use HHH, it's still giving about, hour can only be 2 now, right? You can have from 00 to 24. So I guess this is okay. So just to check if it's working, so the next one should give us 21, 18, 0. So of course, you know that 15 is 3 p.m., right? And all of that. So that's enough. So we've gotten our hour. Now the last thing it said, and day of the hour. Okay, based on this data, when the accident occur most frequently. Now, if I leave it as this, it might not really make sense. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So let's go back to our pivot table that we created in this sheet. Now, I'm sure we won't have that if I copy this guy now here, just to recreate our pivot. If I take out month, you can see that we don't have that hour here, right? So it means we need to refresh because we created it after we already created our pivot table, right? So we can come over to pivot table analyze, and then I think there's a refresh button. Yeah, refresh. So once I click on refresh, you can see now that we have our R, right? So that's how you can refresh it. So if I bring in my R here, and then I bring in my values, it's coming as count again, but it doesn't really make sense. I mean, how will you even plot this? Okay, let's plot it and see. So you see that it doesn't really make sense. So it's not like, how do you know it doesn't make sense? Well, this one is looking a bit nice, but trust me, I'm not really getting, because we have a lot of points, data points, like from 1 to 25. It's okay. I mean, you can leave it like this, right? You can, but there is a better way to do this. So let me show you. So you can instead of saying, where is this data prep? So instead of leaving it as a number, you can create another column and say something like time of the day. Okay, so you can have that time of the day and give it give it a time. So let's say I will say morning, afternoon, and night. Let me just leave it at those three so we don't stress ourselves. So morning, we can say from 00, excuse me, to 11:59, or to 12, no, to 11:59, right? So to 11:59, and then afternoon is from 12 to, let's say, 7 p.m. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's 7 p.m. is 19, right? And then this is coming as a date, or not a date, or sorry guys, I know. So what we want to do is from 12 to 19, right? 7, and then from 19 to 24, which is 12 midnight again, is 9. So I think this can really make sense. Most times this is how you are really going to, you would see the difference between them now. So once you have this condition set, you can come over here now. Now, I said it's a condition. So when you see a condition, what comes to your mind based on what we did before? If, right? You guessed that right. So I'm going to say equals to if, okay, the same thing, logical test. Now we are using the if we learned earlier. So if R now, if this R is greater than 0. Okay, now there's a problem. We cannot use it yet because if you look at these numbers here, they are actually text. How do I know they are text? When you write a number in Excel, a number should start, you can see that it is closer to the right border. Do you get it? That's how you identify that it's a number. If you check here now, they are supposed to be numbers, but they are what? They are closer to the what? To the left. So it tells me that they are text. And of a truth is because we actually we created them as text. You get it? So you can convert this to a number. I think here, I don't know if it's going to work, but if you change this one to, instead of custom, maybe if you change it to number, will it work? It's not working. It's still not working. So I think you need to I hope I'm not stressing all this thing. I just wanted to show you something to learn what we like. So convert text to number. Excel. This is what we do. Don't let anybody deceive you that they have all these things on their head. Everybody's using Google. Don't let anybody lie to you. Okay, so I check in Excel, on Google, how to convert a text to a number. Sometimes you see a lot of rubbish anyways, but okay, yeah, there's this method you can use. Okay. Okay, this method is I I thought maybe there will be a function for it anyways, but there seems not to be a straightforward function. So maybe I should just leave it, or maybe when we do Power BI, okay, when we do Power BI next week, it will be easier. Yeah, it will be easier from Power BI. So let's leave it for Power BI. But you get the concept, what I wanted to do, right? So we would use a condition if that condition will check if this, let me see. No, let's do it in Power BI. So this condition will check if it is, within a particular range, and then it's going to come out as this. Otherwise, this. Otherwise, that. And then you just, when you now plot your graph, instead of having all those years as all those time from 0 to 24, you will just have 3 columns. It's just going to be morning, afternoon, and night. So that way it makes more sense. So you can easily say, okay, we have more from morning, we have more from night, and we have from evening, that kind of stuff. So that's what I wanted us to do. Okay. So, but for the day, which we are asked in the question, so of course we already refreshed, can go to our sheet here, do the same thing as we have here. I mean, copy this guy, your pivot, and then let me bring it here this time. So I'm going to take away her, and then we have day now as our row, and then I'm going to bring day again as our count. So we can see that we have more crimes committed, or more accidents, I beg your pardon, on where? On Fridays, right? This doesn't make sense. So you can sort this. So if I click on this, I can right click, and then I cannot sort here. So just click on it, go to pivot analysis, analyze, and then you see sort. Is there no sort? There should be sort somewhere here. Where is it like this? Anybody help me? There's usually sort here. I think if you click, okay, if you click on this one, this filter sign, you will see sort. So you can sort. It's not A to Z now. Is this one I wanted to sort? Okay, right click on this one again. Let's see. Do we have sort here? We don't have sort here. Okay, maybe someone will find it. I don't know if anyone can find it, but yeah, that's literally it. So I think with that, we are done today. So if you have any question, please, you can ask based on what we've done. Please ask your questions, and then we close. Thank you for giving me the extra time to explain those things.
Thank you, Idris. So do we have any questions? Please, if you do, you can raise your hands. But since there are no hands, you can just go straight away.
Yeah, sorry. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, my own question is good. Thank you for the lecture. I just wanted to know if this will be on the YouTube channel, that's all.
Yes, it will be, but it's not going to be immediately. So what I will do is that I want to partition it. So instead of you having a video that is 3 hours long, I will cut it into the separate classes based on what was taught. So that way you don't have a 3 hours video playing. You know what I mean? And that way we can also take some breaks away from there. Any place that we don't need, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get. Okay,
you get it by tomorrow morning. So just subscribe to the channel, then you will get like a pop-up on your device that a new video was uploaded.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So in the absence of no further questions, so next Saturday we're looking into Power BI. I don't know if everybody knows what Power BI is, but it's a more analytic tool than Excel, right? There's a lot of functions, and life is easier on that part of the world, right? There's a lot of things that you probably have to write 4 lines to get done in Excel, but in Power BI it has like what we call out of the box functionality. That just a little click, a right click, a selection of a function, and you have it. So it's a better tool for analysis. However, if you don't understand the fundamentals of Excel, you might also struggle when you learn in Power BI for the first time, which was why we decided to just have this first class to run through Excel. And again, Excel is a really powerful tool. You're not going to learn it in 2 hours. You're not even going to learn it in 1 month, right? And just like Idris said, even while you're on the role as a data analyst or data operation person, you will keep learning every day. New functionalities, new shortcuts, new formulas, and all. So that's all for today. I really do appreciate everybody that have taken the time to, be here, because no matter what, if you don't join the class, it's more or less useless. So we do appreciate you. If you have any question that you don't want to ask, because everybody's here, that is possible, please feel free to send an email to admin@careeravon.ca, and we will pick it up from there. And if they need be, we can connect with you personally and see how we can help you. Okay? So thank you so much, everyone. So before we go, at least let's see our faces now. If you feel comfortable, please let's see our faces at least, and let's connect to each other. So feel free to drop your LinkedIn in the chat. Let's connect together. The whole idea, oh sorry, well, the whole idea is to build a community, and like we say in the professional world, you can't live alone, right? There's a lot of times that you have to tap from opportunity around people. I've known Idris now for over a year, and a lot of things has happened between us because we maintain the connection. So don't hide yourself. Feel free to connect with people, ask for things. And I see my boss Samuel too on the video. He sends me materials for certification. So please don't hide yourself. Feel free to connect, learn from people, and ask when you don't have, really. It's not all about money, right? Ask for materials, ask for certification tips. After the next class on Saturday, I will be giving the people who subscribe for this, a list of free certifications that you can take. Almost over 30 certifications that you can take for free. And believe me, when you do all of these things, in 6 months, 7 months down the lane, you can be earning 10 times your present salary, right? So, yep, that's all from me. Thank you so much, Idris, and we will see everyone next weekend. So next weekend, we'll be focusing on Power BI as a tool. So please, what you can do ahead is go online and download Power BI. It's free, so you're not paying. Download the Power BI desktop. There are 2 types of Power BI. There's Power BI desktop and Power BI service. So we're not using the service, it's online. We're using Power BI desktop. Download it for free, and I will send the data set ahead so that you can, get a good grasp of the data set before we do it in class next Saturday. Thank you so much, everybody. I do appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening.